free-living and easygoing stalkers, or unruly anarchists. Freedom is one or two partisan factions within the zone, with the other being duty for sworn rivals. While some factions arise from public or private interests, or just personal gain, freedom came to be from free stalkers who yearned for liberty and equality within the zone. They are often disparaged as drugged up rogues, particularly by their authoritarian rivals. Yet despite this and their undisciplined appearance, they form an effective fighting force and significantly influence the economics and stability of the zone. Freedom's first base was established in 2011 during the events of Clear Sky. Led by Chekhov, they settled in the research facility within Dark Valley, although by the time of Shadow Chernobyl, it is now overrun by bandits. In the Dark Valley, S.T.A.L.K.E.R comes to assist Freedom against nearby hostile mercenaries. It's later discovered that there was a mole assisting the mercenaries in their ploy to take over the base, likely because of the base's proximity to X-18. Turncoats seem to be common among Freedom, as a similar event occurs in Shadow of Chernobyl. While you could construe this because of a lack of discipline amongst Freedom leading to snitches, but this also occurs within Duty, with Morgan in Call of Pripyat. While they had been overrun by bandits in the Dark Valley due to being spread too thin fighting Duty, they had also secured the army warehouses as their future base at the same time. The base was primed for the taking due to the bulk of the military presence being eliminated by SIRE missions. The base was large, defendable, and the key to controlling passage to the Red Forest and thus into Pripyat. This was the barrier, the main point of conflict with the monolith. In Shadow of Chernobyl, Freedom becomes more of an important faction regarding the zone's safety. They were now the first line of defense against the incursions of a monolith, mutants, and zombies. Controlling this point also happened to put them right next to Duty's new base, Rostock, which contained the economic hub known as the Bar. In Clear Sky, although Freedom and Duty are ideological rivals, their respective bases of Dark Valley and Agroprom ensured that conflict would remain small-scale due to their distance. Yet now in Shadow of Chernobyl, with their bases of the army warehouses and Rostock being dangerously close and both of strategic value, this ensured that relations between the two groups would remain tenuous at best. Significant skirmishes occurred in army warehouses, Red Forest, and as well as during the battle for Pripyat. Yet despite these, Voronin and Lukash had a ceasefire to prevent all-out war. Duty completely assaulting Freedom would leave space for mercenaries to take the army warehouses, as well as risk more zombies, monolith, and mutants from penetrating the barrier. This explains why Skull's Duty squad in the army warehouses is considered rogue and has no adverse effects on Duty relations if they're killed. While all of Duty agrees that Freedom is a nuisance, attacking them now would only benefit other enemies and endanger Stalkers as a whole. And like most factions, they change significantly when we enter Call of Pripyat. As I said in my Learner Lore video, where most Stalkers are much more cynical within Call of Pripyat, I feel the same can be said for Freedom as well. While they still hold on to their philosophy of being a more anarchistic faction relative to Duty, much of their militancy is put aside. This is also reflected on Duty though, as both leaders reside under Yanov Station ever since an emission forced them to share their safety. They'll still fight bandits and Duty outside of a station, but in the rush for the new land close to Pripyat after the fall of the Brain Scorcher, they've become subject to the mandated neutrality by the Yanov loners. Although S.T.A.L.K.E.R can help Freedom become the dominant faction by the end of Call of Pripyat, I personally consider the neutral ending as a more realistic one. For both Freedom and Duty, partisan loyalty can be more of a harm than benefit in the newly explored areas around Pripyat. Loners are the ones with larger numbers, wealth, and safety. There's more incentive and likely more freedom itself being a free stalker at this point in time. While Freedom's preference for cooperation and harmony with each other and the zone could have them easily mistaken as Clear Sky, or free stalkers in some respects, it's mainly their loose unity in opposition to Duty which defines them. I'm sure a lot of loners would agree with most of Freedom's ideals over Duty's. Yet despite their sense of community and interest in the zone, their lack of neutrality what was separated them from being another clan of loners. While Chekhov was more interested in researching the zone, Lukash was more into safeguarding the barrier rather than all-out war with Duty. Loki also chose to uphold a ceasefire with Duty. He appears less ideological than his predecessors considering how he's willing to live next to his rivals. This perhaps signals that it's indeed hard to be a man of freedom in such a repressive place such as the Zone, and that it's easier to be non-partisan. I feel that in Stalker 2, freedom may have had even less of a presence than in Call of Pripyat, perhaps akin to the reclusiveness of Clear Sky or the intrigue and edginess of certain bandit groups. While freedom was influenced in reaction to the militarism of duty, I feel that in the setting of Stalker 2, that have less reasoning to be as large or ideological as they used to be, duty would likely be smaller too, and there'd probably be more of a focus on loners, mercenaries, and likely new factions as well as cooperation with the military becoming more common. Alright, so that's the end of the freedom lore from here. If new, don't forget to subscribe and click the bell to see when new content is out. Hope you enjoyed. See you next time. Now I'll be giving you an update on my channel and stuff since it's been so long. If you're not interested, feel free to leave now. So first off, this video was probably a bit shorter, a bit more succinct than all the others. I realised that to keep making videos like these and to be motivated to make them, I should really focus more on the lore than talking about every single aspect of the faction. There's also the factor that to talk about freedom, you also must talk about duty a lot. And I obviously haven't made the duty video yet, so the duty video will probably be longer and feature more comparisons between the two factions. As two separate videos, they might seem unequal in terms of content, but it'll work better as you see them back to back. And although it is fun and interesting to talk about literally every named character of a faction, it makes for a long, hard to read, and often boring script for me at least. Yeah, there is a character called Ganja and he's a bartender and he gives you a mission. He's not really integral to the history and ideology of freedom though, is he? I hope that illustrates my point. Talking about everything turns a 900 word script into a 1500 one, which is kind of ironic because giving this update turns the freedom lore script, which is about 900 into 1500 anyway, but gotta do this. Secondly, I do apologise for not putting out as many videos as I'd like to. There's no major problem holding me back, just that sometimes I'm busy with work or I'm enjoying something else at the time. With that being said, I do want to put out more content in 2018 and I'm going to dedicate a lot of time to it. And here's just, an interesting thing. I had 2,620 subscribers when I put out my last video, the military lore video, on the 26th of October. I'm recording this on the 28th of December, so basically 2 months after. And I have essentially gained 700 subscribers since my last video, and I haven't made a video in between those two, and it might be a weird thing to bring up, but I just want to kind of highlight it that when I get to the point where I'm bringing out content, continuously, it's regular, I feel like I can actually turn this channel into something a lot bigger, a lot more successful, and the main thing holding it back is actually just myself. So that's another motivator, because that probably would have been 1,000 people instead of 700, or maybe more, and it's not like it's a bad thing. People would kill to get that many subscribers in 2 months. Anyway, this was a bit of a long tangent, but I feel it was necessary just to give an update on what's going on. If you ever want to keep in contact or ask a question, feel free to comment down below, message me on YouTube, follow me on Twitter because I want followers to feel good about myself, or join the Discord because that is the best way to reach me, as well as other viewers of the channel. As always, thanks for watching. Your continued support and insight is always greatly appreciated. Have a great day.